drippin' like me. No, bitch can't drip like this. Cut out a chain, I'm famous. Get out the drink and I'm swinging. Ain't that been saying he famous?
What's up, y'all? It's Mikey Phantom. We back again with another super special episode. As y'all see, we in a different location this time. Shout out to Free Coffee for letting us shoot in here. I really appreciate that. Y'all didn't have to let us do that. And so I thank y'all for that for sure. Today I got another special guest with me. I got my boy D Trill. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you coming on the pod with me, bro.
It's the vibes.
So the first thing I have everybody do is I want you to write something down that you want to release moving forward in life, and then throw it in the candle and burn it.
That's that. I like that. Something new, man.
Something you want to let go of, something you want to stop doing.
Gotcha. You know, if I'm steadily with shit behind me.
And you can just burn it and throw it in the candle. Ashes to doubt, fire to fear. The path becomes lighter as we move near. So what was it that you want to release?
Complacency. I feel like a lot of times in life,
Move the mic a little closer to you.
I feel like a lot of times in life I done got a little comfortable with just places I've been, whether it's been the situations where I'm trying to pursue something, or I'm putting I'm putting 1 foot into something and 1 foot out, like I'm not all the way in. So,
Yeah.
just complacency, pushing the needle and moving everything forward, my own pace, and really just put my all into it. So,
I feel that too, bro. Like, I've dealt with complacency issues too before, and I think sometimes there's a fine line between being complacent and just being in a spot that's comfortable.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think we get so used to discomfort sometimes that, like, when we finally do get to a spot where we can, like, chill, we kind of feel guilty about being, like, relaxed. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I think, can we get complacent? For sure, absolutely. But sometimes I think we do need them pauses of, like, I need to just chill for a second.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, like, be mindful of, like, being able to tell the difference of being complacent and just being like, bro, I'm comfortable right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm cooling.
Yeah.
So, bro, the first thing I thought about coming up with questions for this, I'm like, bro, you tall as hell, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of people don't realize that, bro. Like, right now we look even height.
Yeah.
I'm 6'10", actually. So, yeah, I played basketball the whole nine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, yeah, for sure, bro. I'm tall, bro.
So the reason I brought that up was it difficult for you? Because, like, we here for, you know what I'm saying, poet. We're going to get into the brand and all that. But
Yeah.
was it difficult for you being so tall, finding clothes that was, like, fashionable and shit like that?
That was a lot of the inspiration behind the brand. And, coming up, you would see, I know with me growing up, my mom used to struggle
Yeah.
trying to, find certain shoes or find pants or things like that. So I kept all that in mind. And, when you go to these different fashion ventures, whether it be like Paris Fashion Week or you go to a runway show, you don't really see like odd shaped models, like tall or wide or,
Everybody the same size.
everybody like, but pretty petite, kind of small, standard stuff like that. Even when you go to the mall, they have all the small sizes. So
Yeah.
a lot of my inspiration, like you said, we're going to get into it, but I definitely kept that in mind. I'm like, I got to put on for the tall people, and people that just, they not the average height or the average standard of what society has put out there. So
What size shoe you wear?
14.
Bruh, so my dad is 6'5" and wear a size 14, and bruh, he never can find clothes.
See, I'm a tweener though. Like I can do a 13 or 14, but I'm glad that my foot stopped growing because after that 14, right?
After bro, you get the 15, yeah, bro, it's like it's custom after that.
So that's a big thing for me.
So, speaking about the brand, what is Poet for people who don't know?
Yeah, so poet is everybody. Poet is everything. We are all poets. What we're doing right now, this is poet.
Yeah.
We're telling a story. And so, one of the quotes that I have for the brand and as a whole is to tell the story. Each day we're writing a story to our life, no matter what you do, whether you've been an entrepreneur, whether you've been an artist, whether you a businessman or fashion designer. you're pretty much telling your story through whatever you're doing, your inspiration, the way you put it out into the universe is for it to be received. So we all a poet.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of synonymous with me coming up with the idea and the name, and and just pretty much having the longevity behind the brand. I want to tell a story. I want to bring people around me to tell their story, and as the brand gets bigger and as it grows and everything, I want them to see the journey, the story from where it began to where it's going to be. So
Yeah. So what inspired you to start the brand, and who would you say Poet is for?
Poet is for everyone. The people that that feel like they're they're not the most popular, or they feel like they're not the standard for everybody deem as being cool, or whatever the wave is. Poet is for you.
That's real.
I don't want people to feel like, oh, I got to be the flyest person, or I got to spend this amount of money on my fit or whatever like that. I feel like style comes from what you feel from within. What you put into the universe is style. So, and Poet, to me, the inspiration came from, of course, you coming up, you see the Kanye's, you see the Pharrell, and you see things like that. But I'm more so wanting my stuff to be a lifestyle brand, where I'm not just boxed into just clothing. We know we do a lot of different things, fragrance, home goods, so stuff I'm into, and that's pretty much what it is. So.
I can see that for real, because like your Instagram is real like aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like you put a lot of emphasis on like creating a vibe with your posts and stuff like that. So I can see the home decor type vibes for sure. Were you? So of course I noticed, like, what I'm saying, certain brands that you wear that I might be familiar with and stuff like that too. Would you say like brands like Nerva and stuff like that were a little bit of inspiration, of not necessarily direct inspiration, but like, damn, this is cool, I like this is what they're doing, and I want to do like my own version of.
So and I shout out to Dave. We go back and stuff like that, and salute to what he's doing. I would say Nerva is the inspo or anything. I definitely respect what they doing
for sure.
I would say different brands like Ame Leon, Lil Supreme, because with me it's a lot of different pieces I haven't shown off, and I'm pretty much just getting my my foot wet. But it's a lot of, I'm more to the space of actually creating a lot of different pieces that are gonna stand the test of time. The teas and stuff like that are a given, and that's dope and all, but I more so love want timeless pieces where 5 years from now you pull out a Poet piece, it still hit the same when you put it out today. So that's what that's the kind of the mode of that. Like I said, I look at different brands and look at how they just constantly evolve. You look at Acme Studios, how they've evolved into a powerhouse now. Even a brand like Diesel, kind of the way they rebranded it, went into their whole modern type of style and everything, and that just came from like just you get new ideas and new people in there to tell their story, new poets in there to tell their story. So that's pretty much where I feel like Poet derived from, just experience, seeing other brands go at it and constantly evolve, and then learning from trial and error. You see like Pierre Moss, that was a brand that was pretty dope, and they was doing some good things, but you see the trial and error from brands like that, and I think that's that kind of helped me evolve and to learn, like, okay, we can move like this and we can move like that. That would be the best move, but that wouldn't be the best move. So
I always like to ask people who I know who have brands and are into fashion and stuff like that. I know how my style evolved, from when I was 14 to now. You know what I'm saying? What was one of the first brands that you was like, this is cool, like I want to dress like this?
Man, growing up, Echo, for sure. South Pole, we from Memphis. So, those are like
hit up
brands.
Burlington.
Yeah, Burlington, bro. We would go there, TJ Maxx and Marshalls. You know what I'm saying? We would go and get what we could.
That's real.
Those brands like that stuck out to me. Of course, moms used to have us in a polo. Growing up in school, we used to have the polo on with the tube socks, like Nike socks and stuff like that. So those
niggas was doing a Nautica for a holiday.
Nautica, bro. So you know like how those brands was, bro. Like if you had that stuff on, you was considered the fly kid in school or whatever. Even with us wearing uniforms and stuff, you still have to have a sense of style or swag with it. I still remember when we used to wear the long pants, and used to tuck the pants in the socks,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, or tie the shoestrings around the socks or whatever. So, it's just different fads and ways that you kind of, evolve your style.
Going from clothing to shoes, because you a sneakerhead. I wouldn't consider myself necessarily a sneakerhead. More so, I would say a shoe lover.
For sure.
So what's like that first shoe? You know what I'm saying? We just talked about the first brand. What was like that first shoe that was like, I like this. This is something I'm into.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, growing up, my mom had 5 kids, bro. So shoes to us wasn't, a given, bro. Like, we would get shoes here and there, but
Yeah.
I know, like, my first pair of shoes that really set it off to me, bro, I had these Jordan 12s, bro. I think it was the Cherry 12s. Those were like, a big shoe for me that kind of set it. And then also I had the Chicago. I didn't have the ones, bro. I can't remember. Bro, I'd had so many shoes over my lifetime, but I think it was the Breads, the Bread 4s too, when I was younger too. But Mom used to do it. She used to do her best, bro, with keeping us fly, bro.
For sure.
Especially, in Memphis, we had the Nike factory and stuff, so that was a good thing. If you on the list, it meant something.
You in there.
School, yeah. So every Saturday, we trying to cop the new J's, and, even if you got to go cut a few yards or whatever to get the little extra $100 to get some shoes, that's what we was on, so. That's
the thing for me, though, like, I be telling my friends all the time that, like, I've kind of lost a little bit of the love of the sneaker game because that essence, you know what I'm saying, that soul of like waking up early on Saturdays and going to get a shoe, and it's like that's kind of gone now. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like overpaying for shoes. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother conversation. We can get into the whole tariff thing and China exposing folks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's matter of fact, while we talking about it, I'll go ahead and ask you, how do you feel about the whole China, you know what I'm saying, exposed, if that's even real, because I've, heard rumors of like that's not a thing, they will be legally,
I feel like, bro, to be honest with you, bro, I really feel like it's for the media to put out there and make a big deal of it. With me having, of course, my manufacturer and stuff like that, and, even in the past doing business overseas and things like that, bro, we know what society is, bro. It's either sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, either you gonna get with the times or you're not. We've been in the past where taxes have been raised and certain, gas prices have been higher. As of recently, groceries have been higher and stuff like that. So we know what time it is, And I feel like it happens anytime, a new election happens. Things tend to get higher before it gets lower. So,
for sure.
I don't think the tariff thing is, gonna be a crazy big problem. I feel like it's ways around it. And I feel like honestly it's just about, the way you kind of, figure things out and go. And I mean, for some people, they do got to pay a little bit more to get stuff over here. Sometimes it is taking a little longer and everything, but it's ways around it, bro. It's ways to everything, because I know from manufacturing, it is more expensive to get stuff made in the U.S. rather than, overseas. So, which is, funny, so, but we know what makes the world go around. The dollar is going to, make the world spin. So,
I really want to ask you a controversial fashion question, I guess you could call it. What is the difference between a product that came straight from China and a product that you might get from Louis? You know what I'm saying? So you might go to China, you might find a Louis Vuitton shirt that's $200 instead of $2,000. How do you feel on what's fake and what's real if it's the exact same?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing is different. It's the namesake, and it may be the material. Sometimes they may not get it as accurate, but nothing, bro. I've seen reps that look 100% as real as the real thing. Yeah. So bro, it's nothing, bro. It's all the stigma of society, and like I said, bro, I'm not a person, that's doing the rep thing or nothing like that. Respect to people who are. Yeah. But a lot of these brands get their stuff made in China, bro. Yeah. You feel me? Like, if you look at the stuff that say made in China, made in Portugal, or made somewhere else other than the U.S. So, yeah, that's, it's all just perception, bro.
I think it's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the experience of going into a Louis Vuitton and getting it. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I used to do when I was contracting overseas, one thing I would always do for my, like, just a gift to myself for being gone, I would Dolce & Gabbana is one of my favorite luxury shoe brands or whatever. So I would always go to a Dolce & Gabbana and like buy shoes because I like the experience of doing it.
Yeah.
Do I need to spend fucking $700 on a pair of sneakers? No, not really. You know what I'm saying? Nor do I really care about brands like that. To be honest, like I'm not a slave to brands.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's the nuance, it's the experience, it's the luxury of being able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you break it down for real, it's like if the place who makes it, you know what I'm saying, is selling their back door or whatever it is that they doing, does that make it fake?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's for the people to debate. I don't really have a clear cut answer on it, but
I feel like you said the experience. You go in there, you see the vibes in there, and you see it's something about you holding that bag in your hand and walking out. They give you a sense of like, you look like that nigga or whatever. So you're like, oh, okay, I got, he got a Louis bag. Oh, he just spent the bag or whatever like that. It's just, perception. So
for sure. So I got a game for you.
Let's do it.
We're gonna blind rank these fits.
Okay.
I got 5 fits for you.
That's hard.
And I want you to tell me number 1.
Oh. Yo.
I'm gonna make sure I put these on the screen for y'all so y'all can see them.
Yo, so this is, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this fit. And you know what's so crazy, bro?
Yeah.
This fit was like so last minute. And a lot of what I do, bro, is as I've gotten older, I learned to repurpose pieces. Like, cause what I used to do in the past, bro, I'm like, bro, I gotta get the newest and the latest. I gotta get this for this fit. I gotta get that for this fit. Like, nah, bro, you can mix what you got. Like,
sure. Go
into the closet, see what you got, and mix it into what new pieces you may get and stuff like that. So this was actually in Arizona, bro. This is one of the best trips I ever taken. Bro, AZ is a vibe. If you have not been to AZ, I recommend that you go.
Yeah.
It just has a lot of activities out there, a lot of good vibes, just a lot. So actually got up at, this picture was taken at like sunrise, so like 5 a.m. or something like that.
Okay.
Actually did the hot air balloon.
That's something I want to do extra, but I want to do that in Turkey.
Yeah, that'd be. I saw that on I think on TikTok. It looked, bro, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
You got like 1 million hot air balloons.
Yeah,
that's a vibe. But yeah, so it was like Nanushka leather shorts, of course, the reimagined Chicago ones. I think it's a Kith bucket hat, and I want to say a Casablanca. May not be Casa. No, Kid Super jacket that they did. Shout out to Kid Super too, bro. They did a dope collab with Bait where they had Castanet and Ray, the streamers.
Yeah,
bro, I love what they're doing, bro. And they're doing some good stuff. But yeah, this will probably be blind ranking. I'm gonna say 3.
Okay. And you talked about remixing, bro. Like, I talk all the time about how that was one of the first things my mom taught me.
Yeah.
My mom, like, put fashion, you know what I'm saying, in my hands, so to speak.
Yeah.
And one thing she always talked about was, like, mixing this and mixing that and, like, you know what I'm saying, rewearing this a different kind of way and how it creates a different vibe. Sure. So that's, like, one of the most important things about fashion and, like, learning how to, you know what I'm saying, restyle things. So picture number 2, that's what I got for you.
I remember this too. This is crazy, bro. So, details. So, went full Needles. Needles is one of my favorite brands, Japanese inspired. I love Needles. Timeless. That's been a big staple of a lot of the pieces I've had in the past. A lot of people, when they wear the track pants, that's become like a staple with the culture and everything. But I just went full painter set. Had the painter jacket on, the painter pants, and I went with Bestroy, black on, dope brand. Their socks have been popping for a while, out of Atlanta. So this is a dope fit with the Union 4s on, Laker colorway. This is dope. I like this fit. This would probably be a 4 in my eyes. So number 4.
Number 4?
Number 4 for sure.
So we got 3 and 4 spot taken. So we got 1, 2, and 5.
Okay. Oh man. Oh man. Yo, it's so crazy about this moment, bro. Like, and all glory to God. What can I say? Bro, the crazy, and I got a funny story about this situation. Shout out to my boy Jarvis, by the way. Yeah. Jarvis Jones, my old college teammate, doing some great things. By the way, he's an agent. But bro, at the time of this concert, Gunna came to Nashville. I didn't even know if I was going to go to the concert or not. My boy Jarvis hit me up literally probably 10 minutes before I was on the way to the concert. It was like, yo, bro, do you have any pieces ready? Like, we might go backstage. You know, he was with a couple, you know, NBA partners and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, all I got is one pair of shorts. I don't know if, you know, they was actually supposed to be my size, but manufacturer messed them up, and they were small. They was like size 34. I wear like a 38 in the waist, and they was like the finalized pair of the black cargo shorts.
Yeah.
So I just took them with me. He hit me up or whatever. We went to the concert. The concert was dope. And he was like, yo, bro, I was actually leaving because I didn't see him no more. He had walked off and stuff like that. So I was leaving. The concert was over. I was walking out the door of the venue. And you know, when you walk out the door of arena, the work's not supposed to let you back in.
Yeah,
so he called me FaceTime. He's like, bro, where you at? I'm like, bro, I'm outside. Like, I'm finna leave. He was like, bro, you gotta come back in. We finna go backstage. We finna meet, bro. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. So I'm kind of talking to the workers. I'm like, man, I left something inside. Like, you know, trying to finesse. I'm like, bro, I gotta get back inside. Like, bro, I need y'all, please let me in. So they let me in. Like, thank God. Got back in the arena, went backstage. And yeah, met Gunna, bro. Met Gunna. And you can see, bro, that was a big moment for me because this is my first year. This is my first year actually putting out a clothing piece.
Yeah.
And, you know, meeting bro, I was like, I didn't know that he would be able to fit him or anything. And, like, seeing his reaction to him, I didn't have him in a fancy packaging or none of that stuff, like, with his name on it or nothing. I just gave him to him. And his reaction was like, whoa, bro, these hard. Like, these tough. Like,
and they his
vibe. They his aesthetic. And so you can always tell from people's energy if they really mess with someone or they just, you know, give you whatever. So he was like, bro, these trim, these hard. I was like, damn. And it didn't really set in what happened because everything happened so fast. And my boy was like, after the whole thing, he recorded and we got in the whip. He's like, bro, we got to go out and stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to go to the crib, bro. I'm tired. And, like, I literally sat in my spot and just sat there and just thought, like, bro, what just happened, bro?
Yeah.
This is crazy. So a lot of love came from it. And I think, like, a week later, bro had the shorts on at his Miami meet and greet. I was like, damn, bro. Like, and he could fit him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know to fit him. Like, that's crass, all God, bro.
Yeah,
like,
divine timing.
Yeah, bro, divine timing, alignment, everything was just. So at that moment, I knew like this meant for me, bro. Like I gotta keep going, I gotta keep pushing. So yeah, bro, that was a great moment, bro. I would say this moment would be number 2 for sure.
Next gen,
it's too hard.
Ooh, 2020.
It's 2020. It's old D Trill. This is like. This is so dope to me, bro, because I always, growing up, wanted a pair of Avisu's, bro. It's one of my favorite brands. I can never find in my size.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is these were actually tailored. If you pay attention to, like, the hem on it, where, like, the white is, those were, like, repurposed by my boy Evan. Power Slide Grand Prix. Doing some big things in LA and modeling and stuff like that. He actually redid the pants for me. I found them on Grib.
Okay.
And he like let the hem out to where they can fit because I'm tall as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, this is dope with the vintage Bulls tee with the ASAP Yams beanie with the off-white 5s. This is probably a 5 just because of the rankings that we got. This is like young D Trill, but this is cool, bro. Like this is a moment for sure. And I just, like I said, bro, I like expressing myself through the fit. So I like having fun with it, playing with colors, you know, different aesthetics, things like that. So this was kind of my real streetwear vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we only got left? Number one spot?
Number 1, this tough.
Feel comfortable with this?
Tough. Ooh. Oh, this hard. This hard. Hey, this is a good fit, bro.
Yeah.
This is a good fit. This is the birthday fit, bro. This is tough. Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Virgil LVs. RIP Virgil. I had the Stussy Dior collab sweater on. Fire.
That's tough.
With the Nerva pants. Shout out to Dave once again, bro. Doing big things. So yeah, bro, this is like a vibe, bro. I really was feeling this fit. I like how everything just flowed. This is cold. This is a good ranking, bro.
Yeah, this actually
is a good
like,
ranking, bro.
This might be the best ranking left.
I was nervous, bro. But this hit, bro. This is hit. I would say like, yeah, and it's crazy, bro, how the Virgil one is lined up because we're gonna get into it with Poet and stuff like that and Inspo, but
it was one more fit that I was gonna put on here. I wanted to keep it at 5.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do a 1 through 6, but it was one of my favorite ways to dress is vacation.
Yeah.
And so you had the silk tank top on with the silk pants. Yeah, that one was hard. But this jump probably and it might be because of the vibe of this jump, but this jump probably my favorite.
That one is, bro. And you know what's so crazy? I would have had that more higher in the ranking. I probably would put that number 1.
Yeah,
for sure. And like, just because, bro, that and none of that was planned, bro. I didn't know the jacket would go with the hot air balloon or none of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy how they just all hit, bro, with the red in the shoes and the desert and all that, bro. So I got like a lot of good feedback from that fit, and people were saying like, bro, you went crazy. This is tough. Like, this and that. I gotta go hit bro. It's so many people that hit me up and like, bro, well, we gotta go to AZ. We gotta take the trip to AZ. And this and that. So,
and then like, I'm a sucker for jacket and shorts, a hoodie and shorts, like any type of weather where I can wear something like quote unquote warm and wear shorts. I fuck with that.
That's tough. So that's tough, bro. That's tough. Hey, I like this game. That's fire, bro. That's fire.
Okay, so to go back to the Gunna thing, how did you organically, get, not necessarily influences, but, you had somebody in the NFL wear shorts before, then you had Gunna, and I'm sure some other people have picked up on your pieces. How did you organically create, those relationships to...
Bro, I started out on the gram getting fits off, so it's like from that, a lot of relationships and a lot of people that seen my page, bro, like, that I don't even know. Like, shout out to, pages like Credible Source and, just a lot of... simple yet effective. It's a lot of fit pages that post my pictures, and they may go viral, and next thing you know, you got people following you, and you don't even know the people, but they follow you, they see the influence and stuff like that, and they just rock with you. And that's what I could say, like, I'm thankful for to have those connections, and a lot of good things that came from that, bro. Like, a lot of people hate social media, but I feel like if you use it in a way that that benefits you and it makes sense for you, it can really lead to great things. I've gotten brand sponsorships, I've gotten seeding lists, different things like that, and just different dope relationships with good people, bro. So with that, I would say that happened, and just with the the celebrity stuff, bro. A lot of them may have stylists or personal shoppers and this and that. So it's kind of like you just doing your homework, finding out, who's on their camp, how can I get it to this person, and, how can I ultimately get it to, the celebrity to wear my stuff and everything. So, a lot of that is like the foot traffic. So,
I think you talked about, some people don't like social media. I think you do social media the right way, bro. Sure. I was talking to somebody about, I was like, I'm about to interview D Trill, and they was like, the mysterious dude. I was like, I don't think he's mysterious. I just think that like he, keep his business off the internet, and he, keep it P with what he posts and shit like this. So
and I feel like I'm not. So it's the difference between a fly person and a fashion. I want to say the full correlation, but a fashion nigga and a fly nigga. A fashion nigga, they gonna talk your head off. They gonna give you the history behind the brands. They gonna try to keep up with the latest trends and do this and that and this and that. When I feel like you fly, you just fly. You in your own lane. You do whatever you comfortable with, and in that way. So, like you said, bro, like, I post what I want. I don't worry about the, what somebody is thinking or how this is gonna look or whatever like that, bro. Like, my page is my page, and I feel like a lot of people with Instagram, they worry about a stigma and keeping a persona and an image, bro. Maybe someday I might just post a mood board. It may not even be a fit pic of me. It just may be like things I think are dope that I may see around the city, or if I'm traveling, I may post an espresso martini or something like that. Like, it's no rules to this, bro. Just post what you want.
Go with how you feel.
Yeah, go with how you feel, bro. Like, social media is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be organic. It's not supposed to be forced. And like, you feel like, oh, this isn't cool enough to post, so I'm not gonna post it. Bro, post it, bro. Like, post what you want. Who cares if it do 10 likes or 10,000 likes?
That's one thing. Since I started doing the content creating and shit like that, like, I don't pay attention to like the numbers.
You can't.
Like, when I was just posting like my personal stuff, I'm like, how many people saw this? Like, how many people liked it? But it's like, now, like, bro, I just want to do good shit. I just want to do cool shit.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not really caught up in who sees it, how many people see it, how many people share it. Like, that'll come with time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying doing what I actually like doing.
When you have a real love for the stuff, it makes it so much easier, bro. Like, and you'll be surprised a lot of the stuff that I posted, the stuff that goes viral is stuff that I don't even be expecting to go viral. That's just how it hit. That's how the universe aligns sometimes. Like, stuff will just blow up on you. It's just, like you said, it's divine timing. So it's no rules to it. So if you out there, bro, post what you want. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing or thinking. Do what you want to do.
So I got another game for you. This is just what's more important to you. I'm gonna say two things. You could just name which one is more important.
Gotcha.
Legacy or luxury.
Legacy.
Peace or progress.
Peace.
Time or money.
Time.
Respect or recognition.
Respect.
Freedom or stability.
Stability.
Creating or consuming.
Creating.
Having a purpose or feeling happy.
Having a purpose.
Something that stuck with me. My homeboy's dad, he's a entrepreneur, and he always gave us like little gems of like just being young men, like being an older dude passing game down to two younger dudes.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said that stuck with me for a long time was he was like, success doesn't care about your happiness. And he was like, there's going to be times where you're going to be unhappy, you're going to be uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? But you still got to, be the man and go out and do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's real. Being real or being rich?
Real.
Winning alone or growing together?
I got to win alone, man. Cause
it's real.
Yeah, if you can't worry about, and that's a great one, bro. Like, cause a lot of times you feel like you have to have others around you in order to achieve your goals. Sometimes you gotta lock in on yourself and what you truly want to chase, and you gotta ultimately win for yourself. Can't nobody else win for you.
And sometimes you want people to grow who don't want to grow themselves.
Exactly. You can't force that.
Yeah.
If they're not ready for it, then hey, it is what it is. I love you.
Yeah.
You my dog. I respect you, but at the same time, it's like I gotta go over here and chase my purpose, chase my goals, and I see you at the top.
For sure. These are more relationship focused.
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty or love?
Loyalty.
Attraction or connection?
Connection.
Honesty or understanding?
Honesty.
Healing or holding on?
Healing.
Being right or being heard?
Being heard.
Chemistry or commitment?
I gotta have chemistry with the person, for sure.
Shared vision or shared values?
Values.
Someone who challenges you or someone who comforts you?
Challenge me. Challenge me. I need it. Sorry.
I need that comfort. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, the comfort.
I challenge myself enough.
Nah, for sure. But I feel like, bro,
I feel where you coming from.
Yeah,
though.
it's like
push me.
I love a woman that's like you gon' like, yeah, we got the big house, we got the cars, but let's go bigger.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we good, we comfortable, but let's go get this property. Let's go do this and that. Let's like really go in. Let's never get comfortable. Like, it's always bigger. And there's nothing wrong with being at a place where, you're happy and you satisfied, but it's like, bro, it's so much out here to see.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much out here in the world to see, and there's so much to do. And it's like you said, we on borrowed time.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Sometimes I feel like women can be too much one or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you get a woman who's like always challenging you, especially in that way, it could come off as like nothing's ever enough.
I agree.
And then sometimes you can get a woman who's too complacent.
Yeah.
Like, don't really want to go nowhere else than where y'all at. And that could be an issue too. And you could feel like, damn, I might be outgrowing or I might be leaving this person. You know what I'm saying? A partner who inspires you or one who supports you no matter what?
I need the support.
Yeah.
And like I said, line up with the honesty too as well. Like, if I'm pushing this idea, and even if you feel like it's not dope or whatever, or you feel like it's not my best, let me know.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and that support gonna go a long way for me. Like, I'm gonna look at that like, all right, you would support me back before all this popped off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, once it pops off, I don't need the people around me that's like there now. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, it's hot, let me go kick it with D Trill.
Yeah.
Bro, we good, you know?
That's so I want to ask you this because I talked to I actually talked to Judah about this, and I was like, man, I was battling between, do you figure the relationship thing out now, or do you get to where you're trying to get to and then you get it, you know, you worried about it then, because dating in those two different dynamics bring different issues.
That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do I want the girl now that I say was here before, or do you become successful and now you're attracting, I don't want to say better, or, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easier to pick, you know what I'm saying? Or you have more options at that point.
That's real. I would say, like, it depends on where you are in life and if you're ready for that. If you're ready to, you know, be committed to someone and, you know, have someone in your space and, like, while you're pursuing your goals, go for that. But if you're not in that mental time, like in that mental frame of mind, like, and you want to, you know, lock in on your goals, that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know, but I think the transparency and that knowing where you are is very important. For me personally, I would want someone that is there before, like I said, everything happens, you know, because you seen me go through this. You seen life knock me down and me climb that ladder and get back up and everything. You seen the growth. You seen me when this just started out as an idea or me just doing a sample, you know. Don't, you know, because like you said, when you get to the point of success, a lot of those relationships is easier.
Yeah.
They'll tolerate more. They want to be in the section. They want to be at the pop-up. They want to, you know, they just want to be around you for the vibes.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, you know when it's genuine energy, or, you know, if a person really likes you for you, or they just like for you for where you are and what you can do for them. So
I say this, or I think about it all the time, but it's like, it's not necessarily a bashing thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of women don't want to run the race with you. They want to stand at the finish line.
For sure.
And not that there's necessarily anything completely wrong with it, but I feel like there's another level of understanding that comes when somebody has been there with you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, like me, you know, it's like, you might see this quote-unquote finished product now, but it's like, bro, I'm from Westwood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, my grandma got an 8th grade education. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't know that and you don't understand it, and you don't see or understand how I got from there to here, it's kind of difficult. Not difficult. Your relationship with me is going to be different than a woman who understands that, like, I know where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what it took to get to where you at.
Do you think that is and that was a great point. Do you think that it's our mindset because of where we came from? Because I'm from Orange, man. You from Westwood. So we coming from one level houses and, you know, struggle and everything like that. Do you think it's hard for the women that you talk to that may not have had the situation? They may have came in, you know, the silver spoon household, and they may not know the struggle and everything. Do you think it's hard for them to really relate with that? It's like you can't, like, you know, you could tell them about it.
Yeah.
You could try to help them, like, see it like, yo, you know, it was times where my moms had to go without eating sometimes just to make sure we was fed. So you think it's hard for them to understand that?
I do think sometimes it could be hard for them to understand. It could be hard for them to understand, and some of them just don't care.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them, like, don't really care what the journey was. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why, to me, I would rather have the girl before.
Yeah.
Because you can see, you can experience, and you can respect the journey.
1,000.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, it's literally the same thing as if you gave somebody $1 million versus them working for the $1 million. You're going to respect that million a whole lot different if you work for it.
1,000.
You know what I'm saying? So I think if you become a successful man, the woman comes into your life immediately getting benefits of a struggle that you went through. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's, some of them don't understand and some of them just don't care.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
That's real.
So we haven't talked about, you know, the family dynamic too much, but you're a dad.
I'm a dad, for sure.
How do you balance the difference between wanting to be like a fierce entrepreneur and, like, man, I want to put everything in the poet and I want to, you know, go after this, go after that, but also be a dad and, you know, be a present father?
Yeah. It gives me purpose, man. Bro, it's crazy because, like I said, I come from I want to say a broken household, but my mom's and my pop's not together. So for me, I didn't think, you know, I would be in a situation where I'm, you know, co-parent and things like that. But bro, bro. I love being a dad. Just the things I've learned about myself,
Yeah.
and all of my child, like I love it, bro. Like it's one of the best feelings in the world. And like I said, it gives me purpose for what I'm doing. Like I'm putting my all into this. It's more so like I'm leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, oh, for me, I'm just getting fly making money or whatever the case may be. Like, nah, like I'm leaving a real legacy. Like I want my, you know, my child, and you know, for them to say like, hey, this is what it is. Like my dad, he do this, like, you know, and it's dope, bro. It's dope. I have a little girl, Kylie, and she's the world to me.
Yeah.
She's gonna be 7 this year, and she's taught me more about myself than I've ever known. You know, and it's different when you have a girl. You feel that sense of like, dang, bro, like I got to be more sensible to certain things, and I got to set the example, and you know, because ultimately she's gonna get older, and she's gonna want to date, and I can't be a hypocrite and be like, hey, don't date this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm that guy.
Yeah.
You know, or I was that guy. So it's like, you can put her on game and stuff, but you still have to set the example. You got to, teach her, court her, get her flowers, stuff like that, so she can be used to that.
Yeah.
You know, and ultimately be there. You know, she going to have her first heartbreak, eventually and stuff. So
Me and my boy Lou was just talking about this, bro. We were just talking about
time
like,
it's going to come, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, when we was younger, you wouldn't think that much of it because, we young, we think, we like, but when you in that position, it's like, man, it hit different, bro. It really hit different. So I love being a father. I do. And, shout out to all the dads out there, man. Do it at your pace, man. Do it at your pace. And like I said, being present is the most important thing, and being there and making sure the love is there. Don't let social media, the stigma of like, I gotta overly post my kids to be, an Instagram dad or whatever, bro. Bro, parent how you parent, and make sure you have that genuine connection with your child, and it's a balance there, bro. So
For sure.
My daughter, I be, showing her pool and stuff like that, and she be like, I like those, daddy, or like I show her something, she be like, put the thumbs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, she has that sense of style, and I'm loving that, and man, I'm super thankful. And then,
Do you feel like she came at a time where you needed her?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was wild, I was running wild, and I felt like God, did that to kind of like sit me down. Like, hey, this is what you need. And, at the time, you don't be thinking about it. Like you get scared and like, I'm gonna be a dad and this and that. But
Yeah.
bro, I needed that. And like I said, looking back to the person I was compared to now, it's like night and day. And I'm just thankful. I'm still growing. I'm still learning.
For sure.
I don't have a guide to how to be the best father in the world. Like I said, you just do the best you can and take it one day at a time.
For sure. If everything had to shut down today, you know what I'm saying? If Pola had to come to a wrap for whatever reason, what would be the thing that you like cherish the most about the journey so far?
I would say just the courage and just the ability to just go after it, like just to put that energy out there and really just say, I went after this and I did it. Like, and may not have gotten to the level I wanted or whatever, but I did it. I had the courage to, really push myself and to create something that, because we humans, bro, we have a million different ideas every day, but how many people really act on them?
Yeah.
And you like actually put out something physically. So that's probably the most thing I'll be proud of, bro. Whether I get one sale or not, I can say, hey, I did it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
If your younger self could see you right now, what would surprise him the most?
Man, I would say,
when I wrote this, I actually thought about myself.
Yeah,
But I
bro.
want to hear your answer.
I would say, bro, I think the younger me would smile, bro, and really be like, we're happy like how far things have gotten as far as, with the people knowing me, or the likeliness like of people liking me, or whatever the case may be, or even with me just having a brand, bro, and being the father I am and stuff. Like, I think the younger me will really be like proud, like, dang, because I'm gonna be real with y'all, bro. Like, I grew up, I wasn't, like the cool kid or whatever like that, bro. Like, I grew up drawing when I was younger, and like I said, I knew one day I wanted to create a brand. I used to draw like cartoons all the time. My little hustle at school to get, at the school you have a candy lady, so like, pull up to the school. My little hustle was like, I used to draw pictures, like Dragon Ball Z pictures, and you know, Pokemon pictures, and I used to sell them at school for like 50 cents or $1 or something like that.
True.
And I always knew like I wanted to have a brand, bro. Like I remember seeing, you know, Fat Albert. My mom had like a pair of Fat Albert jeans or something like that. And like I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to, you know, create something. And like I said, I couldn't afford Bape or couldn't afford the, you know, the Kanye stuff or nothing like that. But I think the younger me would be like, bro, you really did that.
Yeah.
Like, you on your way. So yeah, shout out to the young D Trill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I was thinking about myself, I was like, I don't think my younger self would have believed like how many places I've
Oh yeah. Oh,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? How far
that's
went.
major, bro.
Yeah.
That's a great one too, bro. Like being from Memphis, Tennessee, I could never imagine in my wildest dreams the places I've traveled.
Yeah.
You know, some of it is through basketball, but bro, just having the courage to get on a plane and just see the world
Yeah.
for what it is and go out the country and see these different cultures and expand your taste level and stuff. Because, you know, you from Memphis, the first place you may go is Atlanta,
Yeah.
Texas, Miami,
Yeah.
you know, somewhere like that. But, bro, just so much, the world is so big and it's so much to see.
Yeah. So when I was in elementary school, my mom used to be a flight attendant. And so she would always bring like stuff from different countries, and she would she got this big book of pictures of like all pictures she took from overseas and stuff like that. So she always like told me about how big the world is, like life is bigger than Memphis, it is, and the third. But I was one of those kids where like it's different hearing about it and then experiencing it. And so, you know, I made it to 18 and I had never left the country yet because of sports. You know what I'm saying? I played sports year round, so I never really had the time to go overseas.
Yeah.
But when I went into the Army at 17, and when I left home, like I did not want to leave home, bro. I did not want to leave Memphis, and I was like, honestly, it was the best thing I ever did, because it's just like you need to get out of that comfort zone early. And you know, I've seen people that I've known over the years who like haven't left, and they've made it to their 30s, and it's kind of like once you get that old and you haven't left, it's like you kind of less and less want to.
You stuck.
Yeah. And so I'm glad I did what I did. Who was somebody outside of your circle that believed in you or your brand
Man,
early on?
man, that's tough. Outside of my circle,
It could have been some random person you met at
bro, that's so crazy.
it was like, damn, I fuck with you, bro, or whatever.
Yeah, I would say my boy Antonio, Black Boy Fly on Instagram. He stay in Atlanta. I have a lot of conversations with him, and we grew to, bro. We was just Instagram friends at first, and we grew to be, you know, real homies.
Yeah.
Bro believed in me, and you know, we had those conversations and stuff like that. And I would say like he was like, bro, you dope, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, go do that. You know what I'm saying? Go do that. And you know, like I say, he keeps it real. Like I would rather have people around me that are real. It's gonna keep it organic. If my stuff not hot, or if it's weak, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna feel no type of way. Like, you know, so the criticism is welcome. So
For sure. I see you got a before we get into the last thing. Do you got like something you wanna show?
So I got a couple things, man. I wanted to show y'all some stuff. These were their first Carpenter samples. You know, these is like a year and a half.
Gen 1s.
So I actually have a release coming within the next 2 weeks. Actually next week. So yeah, so
Yeah.
and the great thing about these is the Carpenter part are detachable. So these actually would come off. You can wear it with it or without it. So these are like the first sample I did, which is dope. And it's like I said, just playing with it, bro. Just, you know, having fun with this stuff. Like I said, fashion doesn't have rules.
Yeah.
You make what you want. You make what is dope. So these are cool. The green version of the cargos that everybody kind of messes with, you know, that I think are fly. So we did those last year. You know, they did pretty well. People love them. It's pretty cool. And these are my babies. The first original sample of the black shorts. I would never get rid of these.
Yeah.
Because this is where it started. These are where it started, bro. Like, these are the samples. These are like the first pair when I
What
did.
kind of is this called? I forgot.
So it's like Pebble leather.
Yep, Pebble. Yep.
Yeah, so I did these. This don't even have my logo on the back. These is like the first sample of the shorts. And so it's like I said, a trial and error thing. And I just knew like I wanted some cargos and stuff like that, you know. So
Yeah.
and I got some dope stuff. So the jersey, poet on the back, tell the story. I told you that's the quote. So, you know, got to tell the story on the back. 08. People want to know where the 08 comes from. So FUBU. You know, FUBU has like with the 05. So that was a reference for it. So I did the 08. My birthday is actually in August. So eighth month of the year. So
Okay.
08. With the poet on the front. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I wanted to ask you too, is the fact of like you being tall, did that inspire like the, I guess the kind of sort of three-quarter length
For
shorts?
sure. I've always been into like the baggy aesthetic.
Yeah.
So that's like, you know, been a thing for me. And then like I said, proportions, bro. Like I gotta have proportion stuff. I can't wear the, you know, we're not in 2009 or 8 or whatever where you know, people wearing the skinny jeans and stuff sometimes. Like sometimes, you know, you gotta have some stuff that like that show baggy on me. And I'm so tall, so it's hard for things to look oversized on me, you know. So that definitely went into it, you know, just with the proportions and stuff that I like wearing, you know, the stuff the little dudes be wearing.
Yeah.
So let me see. Got some goodies in here. So I have my bomber that I'm dropping this fall.
It's reversible?
Reversible bomber. So olive green on the side, and it's just the little details, bro. So on the back of the collar, I told you, poor, we telling a story. So this is actually resembling a sheet of paper. So how you would write on a notepad, that's what that is. So two-tone, like I said, you know, you wear it on the green side, and then if you flip it, this is dope to me.
I fuck with the back on the orange side.
So yeah, when you flip it, it's a whole different vibe. You can wear it however you want to wear it, whatever your vibe is, you can do that. So on the back, we have that poet, probably the best story in the world. So
That's tough.
Reversible carpet, kind of like that carpet material. And then, like I said, the inspiration, Virgil. If you've seen the green grass rug, that's what we kind of went with the jacket, like that green grass type of vibe, where we did that. So
Yeah.
I said, just creating the pieces, bro, having fun with it, you know. So this is definitely one of my pieces I'm proud of too. And we're gonna get into the goodies, the unreleased stuff, just a little bit. So
Are we getting an exclusive on the Mildly Insane pod?
So we got the snow camo motocross jacket, asymmetrical zips, cowhide leather.
That's tough.
Padded, so it unzips sideways.
And it's smell like it
real
fresh
leather.
out the
Real leather, bro. So satin inside, you know, you having fun with it.
That's hard,
Add
bro.
it back, you know. So, you know, kind of give you that, you know, that snap button at the top. It's real dope. So it's a sample. Like I said, got the zipper sleeves and stuff like that. And
when you get a sample, how much do you veer off from the sample to like the one you actually put out?
it really just depends, bro. Like if the sample hits on the first try, I don't think too much into it. I go after it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, but if, you know, sometimes you may be like, I can tweak that. I can make the collar a little wider. I don't really need that many zippers or that many pockets and stuff like that. So it's just trial and error, bro. With the black shorts, those were kind of a hit from the jump. It's like, okay, I just need to tweak a few things. I need to bring the crotch up a little bit more, or like, you know, or maybe bring, you know, the pocket, make it a little wider and stuff like that. So it's just minor tweaks and stuff like that you may have. Or sometimes you may scratch the whole idea. Like, I don't really like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to, you know, just the creative side of it. It's fun, bro. It's fun. Getting something is fun. Also with the camo jacket. Got the camo shorts, bro. So
I was wondering if you was gonna make shorts.
camo shorts, bro.
Yeah.
So, snow camo, you know. Got the P on the back. Big poet, new logo.
Are you gonna do another colorway of camo, or you gonna keep it?
I honestly might, bro.
Yeah.
And this shout out to Dipset. You know, that was my whole inspo with the camo and stuff like that, and you know, No Limit and stuff like that. How they, you know, used to wear the camo and you know, integrate the camo. Like Cam did the pink camo and stuff like that. So I may in the future, bro, do like, you know, something like that with like an ode to it. But I'm really messing with it, bro. I'm just having fun with it, bro.
Yeah.
And these are just, you know, pieces. I didn't bring the burgundy shorts because
he knew I was gonna buy them right now.
but I actually got the yellow ones on right now. You feel me? They just some cool, you know.
Them just tough, bro.
Some cool vice and leather. These are gonna
I'm
be
for
available.
sure copping those. For sure copping.
These gonna be available soon. So I couldn't bring the burgundies because somebody got them off me. They couldn't. They went. Hey, shout out to my boy. He copped them. So,
Did you actually had somebody text you while we were setting up? Do you have like a time frame you gonna drop?
so yeah, I'm actually gonna drop it in the next week. I'm planning on this Friday if things go right and you know I roll out the content in the right way. They're gonna drop. I actually have 3 colorways I'm dropping. I have another surprise for y'all too. So people been waiting on it. So I'm gonna give people what they want. Summertime.
Yeah.
We just getting started. Really finna turn the energy up and. Like I told y'all, Poet will be a household name. This is just the beginning. It's bro, it's so much of the story I got to tell, and I'm excited to take everybody on a journey with me, and I'm just excited for what the year holds, bro. Like I'm really having fun with it. I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I'm a creative, bro. So
yeah.
it's easy for me. Like not to say it like that, but it really is, bro. Like
yeah.
when you really passionate about something, it's not work. You know, it's like I'm doing me. So.
Man, we support you, bro. Like we want to see you win, bro. So definitely keep doing your thing, bro. We fucking with it for sure.
That's real.
So yeah. So the last thing I got for you, we're gonna do a 3-card pull.
Okay.
You can pass if if it's a question that don't really resonate with you, but we just gonna
let's do it. It's in the bag. Urgent. That's real.
These are already mixed up pretty good.
I said my boy we finna play Carisha Please. Not just playing. Nah, this tough, bro. Hey, this is one of the best interviews and really conversation sit downs that we could ever do, bro. This is so organic and real.
I appreciate that, bro.
Real talk, bro. You doing, man. If y'all not tapped in, my boy is doing an amazing job. He asking some real, legit questions. He doing the research. The picture thing was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I said, keeping it down to earth, and you're doing it your way, bro.
Yeah.
So I want to give you your flowers, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
It's a lot of people that they do it just for whatever reason, but you really passionate about this. You putting the work in. Y'all can't see the setup, but hey, it's crazy. My dog is really, really, really putting in work.
Real,
I see you doing big things, bro. God,
appreciate
so
that, bro.
I got to give you your love, bro. So I'm gonna go with vulnerable. Let's see, what do I think my biggest weakness is? My biggest weakness is, like I said, I balled it up earlier. Complacency, bro. I did, and me being honest and transparent. I feel like I could have went 100 times harder last year. I could have dropped more releases. I could have kept pressing, and I could have pushed more than what I did. And I really sat down and sat with myself and was like, man, I could have did more, and I really have grown out of that, and not letting life obstacles stop me from pushing, bro. Like, not letting the little fall downs or the knockdowns that you may go through in life stop you from pushing towards your purpose. So yeah, that was
because that's the easy choice.
That's the easy one, bro. It's easy to give up. You feel me? It's easy to throw in the towel, So, but it's a battle when you got to actually fight through something and push. So complacency, bro. That was one of my biggest weaknesses, but it no longer is. So you feel me? So yeah. Then I'm gonna choose.
Got my fucking intimacy.
Ooh. We'll do intimacy. Tell the story of the most embarrassing moment of your life. Yo. Hey, that's funny. One of the most embarrassing moments of my life, bro, was probably me losing my virginity, bro. That was funny, bro. I didn't have the glamorous story or I got the girl from this and that. Bro, I was talking to this girl at school. Shout out to her. I was talking to this girl at school, bro, high school. Went to her people crib, and she stayed in Westwood, bro, in the projects, bro. I had no reason being out there, bro. I'm like, damn. So, went to the crib, young dude, bro. So I'm like probably 16. I was a late bloomer, bro. 16, 17 at the time. I
lost mine at 16 too.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about. I'm trying to hoop and stuff. So, went to her people crib and stuff like that. You know, luckily I did use protection.
First of all, pause. The fact that we just said 16 is
Bro,
a labor, that's actually crazy.
That's great. And it's like, bro, we think, you know, it's like, you 16. You
I know some niggas at 12, 14.
You feel me? So it's like niggas was out there early doing it, but that was I'm proud of it. But I went to, you know, the projects, we vibing at her crib and stuff like that. I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah.
So, you know, got the car, did whatever. You know, I'm doing that, bro. Bro, as we are doing it, her grandmother walks in and sees, like, literally us doing it. Like,
damn.
We in the living room with it. Like, not carrying grandma. So it's like, and she was like, what are y'all, like, I'm like, oh, shit. So she was like, you got to go. Like, I'm sprinting past, pulling pads up, shit like that. So, but at the time, I didn't have a whip. So it's like, and I had snuck over there, mind you. So my mom and shit don't know I'm over there, whatever. So I'm trying to call my cousin to come pick me up. I'm trying to call whatever, bro. My stepdad had to come pick me up in the projects. And, like, that's when I knew my stepdad was a real one at the time. Because, like, we had that conversation, and that word, that to this day, never got back to Mom. So, Mom, if you see this interview, that's just gonna make you laugh. But
that's real.
Shout out to my stepdad, he did not tell or you know, none of that. So
that's real.
That was real. He a real one, bro.
Yeah.
So that was one of my most embarrassing things. First time losing Virginia, grandma walked in, got caught. So yeah. And then I'm gonna do the mind fuck. So let's see. What would you say if you could send a message to your past, present, and future self?
You could pick one, past, present, or future.
I would say to my future self, we on the way. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I wouldn't change anything about my past. I wouldn't change anything about my life. Everything happens for a reason, and you learn from it. And I know the person that I'm growing and I'm going to be. Yeah. So these values will stick with me. The struggles will stick with me. My story will stick with me. Yeah. And when I do get to that point, I'm going to appreciate it 10 times more. And I'm going to make sure that I tell the story, you know, to other people. And I really, you know, allow people to be empowered, do that. Because, you know, a lot of times people don't want to keep it real. They don't want to tell their story. You know, a lot of, even with rappers and stuff, I never worked at 9 to 5. And everybody got this street story. It's like, nah, bro, like, some of us had to grind. Some of us had to, you know, work at FedEx and other stuff. So, hey,
That's real, bro. So, man, this was a dope conversation, bro. Like, I really fuck with how this went, bro.
Real, bro.
We got to do this again. Another,
most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna hook my boy up with some poet pieces. Y'all gonna see him in the interviews with some poet.
Absolutely.
And, man, I'm really appreciative of this sit down. This is my first time even doing something like this, so I'm thankful for you to even, you know, for even reaching out to me and choosing me, bro. And like I said, this is super dope, bro. I'm just thankful, bro.
For sure, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate free coffee.
Shout out to No Free Coffee. Shout out to Mario. Hey, shout out to the whole team, bro. We in a great space right now. Yeah. We got the matcha. We matcha boys. You feel me? So, yeah.
Shout out to the crew that's here. They was helpful, you know what I'm saying? They was real respectful. Like, they, you know, helped every setup and all that. So thank y'all again. Hopefully this might be a spot that I come back to and, you know what I'm saying, shoot again. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next time.
Sir.